Hello, everybody. Supersonic here, back again. And unfortunately, guys, FNaF's 10-year anniversary week is kind of coming to an end. We are currently on day 6 of 7, and Click Team, the publishers of the FNaF games, have decided to drop a demo for their upcoming game, 5 Laps at Freddy's. If you don't know what this is, it's basically just FNaF Mario Kart. It's just like a kart racing game, but with FNaF characters, FNaF locations, FNaF themed like cars and power-ups and stuff. And the demo released today, about like an hour ago from like when I'm recording this. And I immediately just sat down, played the game, and I just want to go over my general thoughts. So let's talk about characters first. I think this game has a decent character selection for a demo. We have Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and then like a few FNAF 2 characters and Springtrap, and that's basically the roster. Which I think works like fine for a demo. I think when the actual game releases, we should get a lot more characters because I mean the FNAF series has so many characters to choose from. Like we could get like a lot of characters in this game. Like there's no FNAF 4 characters, there's no sister location, there's no pizza sim in this game. And I think when the actual game releases, it'd be great to have like a lot of like maybe just like add all the characters at once in the full game, or maybe like just add them in like updates throughout. But yeah, I definitely think we should get more characters by the time the final game comes around. In terms of cars, though, we only have 3. We have like this cupcake car thing, which I like. That's like my favorite one to use. And there's also like a purple car, which I think is meant to be like William's car from Midnight Motorist. And we also have like just a generic like go-kart, which I think is meant to be like from Roxy Raceway. I mean, these are pretty cool. There's like 5 different stats for the cars, which I think is pretty cool. Like in addition to like speed, acceleration, all that, there's also like suspension and stuff, which is like how like light or heavy your car is, I think. And that's also it's true for the racers too. The racers have like weight classes, and like which is like but true for other kart racing games too. I think like in Mario Kart, like characters are heavier than others, and that like affects your game. And it's the same thing for this game too. Uh, I think all the weight classes like make a lot of sense. Like like Freddy and Bonnie are like average weight class. Chica is like above them. Foxy is like really light for some reason though, and Balloon Boy too. Which I mean that makes sense, but like Foxy and the Puppet are really light, and then like Springtrap and Mangle are pretty heavy, which I also think makes sense. And then in terms of tracks, we again only have 3. We have Fazbear Hills, which is a FNAF World reference, and there's also like Freddy Fazbear's Pizza near the track. There's Midnight Motorist, which is the one pizzeria simulator minigame. There's like a part of the track with like a highway that's really cool, and there's also Juniors. And then there's the third track, the sinkhole, which is like the place from Security Breach and Ruin. And I think the first 2 tracks are pretty good. The sinkhole is absolutely terrible, and I'll explain why. So there's like one spot in the track where there's like a gap, and you have to cross the gap. You have to like there's like jumping in this game. You can like just press space to jump. And what kept happening to me was I would try going over the gap, and then I'd land on the track, and then I'd start moving super slow for some reason, and then I'd get respawned later in the track. And I was like, okay, did I accidentally go off of bounds? Or out of bounds? And I tried like 5 more times, and I just kept getting respawned at an earlier point in the track. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. Apparently, also other people have experienced their game crashing at this point in the track, which is insane. It is meant to be the most difficult track of the 3, but it's just like it's not difficult in like a good way where it's like challenging, but fun. It's just like really like terrible. It's a very like the actual track design is fine, but like another mechanic for this game is that if you get caught in like the nearby trees and stuff, the game gives you 2 seconds to like free yourself, and then it'll just like plop you back on the track. This map has none of that, but there are still plenty of areas where you can not only get stuck, but also soft locked, because often that getting plopped back onto the track, similar like to Mario Kart and other games, that is usually the one thing that saves you from getting soft locked. But because on the single there's none of that, it's basically just an unplayable map. I don't think I've seen a single person like actually beat the track like of all 5 laps. Which, by the way, there are 5 laps. because 5 laps at Freddy's. The tracks do seem a bit shorter, which makes sense because 5 laps you can't really have like a full size track and make it like 2 extra laps. For like a demo, like just for a demo of a game, it's still just like pretty mid, if I'm being honest. Although, like without a doubt, the biggest flaw with this demo is the lack of multiplayer. I 100% think that multiplayer is going to be included in the final release. I don't see the game releasing without multiplayer, which it's releasing in like 2025, by the way. And I cannot see the game releasing without multiplayer because this, like the demo, it gets old very quick. I played all 3 tracks, tested out a different car on each, tested out a different racer on each, and that's like about it. Like honestly, there's not much to do after that. Try all the cars, try all the tracks. I mean, I guess if you want to, you can try all the racers, but like besides like weight class, there's not much reason. Like you're just gonna pick the lightest ones every time. I think that's how like kart racing games work. You want to like pick the lightest ones. I don't know, but like the demo gets old very fast. I was hoping that they would include multiplayer in the demo just to like keep people interested, but no, they didn't. And I think the demo is definitely gonna suffer because of that. This is probably like the most underwhelming release we've had for the anniversary week so far, if I'm being honest. A lot of people were really excited about this game, and I was kind of excited because like I think an official FNaF kart racing game sounds pretty cool, but this is just not the correct way to handle it. Like I like the final, like what I'm trying to say is that the final game really is going to need to hit it out of the park, because if that doesn't happen, if the final game is just like the demo but slightly better, like that, like the game is going to do like terribly. And I mean, even if like they make the game free, which I doubt they will, I doubt the game will be free on launch. If the game like costs money and is terrible, that like it's just gonna die so fast. Although I do think there is definitely potential here. I'm not saying that this game is doomed, or that Click Team already shot themselves in the foot. There is a way to like make the final game a lot better, and I think what Click Team just needs to do is just refine everything in the demo, refine the soft locks, everything. Just like I would honestly just recommend just putting invisible walls, like where the trees and like rocks and stuff are. That just makes more sense to me than just getting stuck and like having to wait 2 seconds before being plopped back onto the track. I would just add invisible walls. Sure, it's lamer, but like I don't think anyone really wants to deal with with that. I certainly don't. And yeah, I mean, like the game is kind of underwhelming. Actually, I'm gonna talk about controls real quick. In terms of controls, it's like fine. I had to like look up thankfully there is a controls menu, which I don't think I would be able to do good at this game at all if there wasn't a controls menu, because some of the stuff is like very not obvious, like using items, switching items, boosting. All of them are very like not obvious controls. Like this game the game literally expects you to press right shift, which is a key I don't think I've ever used on my keyboard, like ever, to boost. But thankfully you can change the controls in the settings, which I think is great. But Click Team, if you're like somehow watching this, I think you have a good idea on your hands. I just think you need to refine it a lot, polish it up a lot, and just add a ton of new content, a ton of new tracks, cars, racers, everything to the game. And I think and add multiplayer, and I think this game can do well. In terms of like actual gameplay, it's pretty good. There's drifting, which feels a bit clunky at times, not gonna lie, especially with the amount of like dead zones. There's also like the night shift thing. I don't exactly know how this works, but it kind of seemed like just randomly throughout the track you switch to night shift, and then you have to worry about not getting caught by like this endoskeleton thing. Although getting caught by him doesn't really do anything, it just like stuns you for a couple seconds while you watch the jump scare animation, and then it just places you back on the track like nothing happened. Like I was kind of expecting something more, but I mean I'm fine with this. I mean it's a cool addition. Like not like Night Shift does make the maps look a lot cooler than they do in the daytime, so that's nice. But overall, this demo is kind of disappointing. I remember hearing people think this they're kind of like worried about this, and I can understand that Like honestly, I mean, like they were kind of right. But like again, like Click Team, if you're somehow watching this, like don't take this too seriously. I think just as long as you refine and polish this game a lot, like this could be a good game. This is like I don't really see this being a bad game. Like this could easily be a good game if the Click Team just knows what to do with it. And yeah, I mean that's about it for me. It's a pretty mid game. Probably like probably it's probably going to take a good amount of convincing for me to play the actual game if there's not like a ton of new content. But yeah, pretty underwhelming, pretty disappointing. I was kind of worried about this game like ever since like the trailer, but now it's just kind of like now the demo isn't really helping my beliefs. But I think as long as the game is polished, refined, and has multiplayer, I think this can be a good game. But yeah, that's about all for me. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'm Supersonic, and I will see you all tomorrow for Into the Pit, which is actually what I'm most hyped for this entire anniversary. So that's going to be really fun. I'm hoping the game isn't too long, because I would like to just make like a short review of it tomorrow. I don't want to, I want the game to be good, but I don't really want it to be so good that I feel the need to make a proper review of it, because that's going to take me a while. I've been wanting to do like some, like a bit, like non-FNaF content on the channel for a little bit. But yeah, I'm still incredibly hyped for this game. I can't wait. Yeah, it's coming out tomorrow, so we'll see. Alright. But see you guys tomorrow, and bye. Hey, I literally, like, editing me here, I literally just sat down and edited this video, and the news came out that Into the Pit is actually dropping later today because it accidentally got released early over in Japan on Nintendo Switch. So, you might get 2 videos from me today. I don't know. Depends on when Into the Pit releases. I might be, like, asleep by the time it releases, you know, who knows. But, yeah, you might get 2 videos from me. That's gonna be interesting.